The NFL offseason just experienced its first earthquake, and it wasn't a trade, it was a checkbook. Andrew Berry, the man everyone thought was playing checkers, just pulled a $63 million checkers move that has left ESPN analysts speechless and rival GMs scrambling for answers. When news broke that the Cleveland Browns were trading for Houston Texans offensive lineman Tytus Howard and immediately handing him a contract worth nearly two-thirds of $100 million, the internet collectively laughed. They called it desperation. They called it panic. They slapped a D-plus grade on it like it was a failing student's homework. But here's what the talking heads completely missed while they were busy typing their hot takes. Andrew Berry didn't just acquire a player. He stole the most versatile offensive weapon in the trenches from a division rival, locked him up before the market exploded, and quietly laid the foundation for an offensive line rebuild that could save the Browns' season before it even starts. And if you think $63 million for a guy the Texans didn't even want is crazy, you haven't been paying attention to how real champions are built in this league. And this is where the real story begins. The people who screamed at just the mention of $63 million never saw what Andrew Berry had meticulously structured in Tytus Howard's contract. It's a 3-year deal, but the real guaranteed money only covers the first 2 years, while the third year is a team option, meaning if Howard suffers injuries or his performance drops, the Browns can cut him without any penalty. This is what's called a front-loaded contract. Pay now, save later. And when Deshaun Watson's $80 million cap hit arrives next year, Berry will need every single dollar. That's why he signed Howard now, not tomorrow, not the day after, at the exact moment when no other major offers were on the table. The Houston Texans, they executed this trade because they needed to pay Will Anderson Jr. and the Stingley brothers their next contracts, and Howard simply didn't fit their plan. But in Cleveland, Howard fits perfectly. And remember, the game is won in the trenches, not outside of them. With only one truly reliable starting lineman, Dondre Jones, returning from a severe knee injury, and Bitonio, Conklin, and Taylor all leaving, the entire line was in disarray. In this scenario, Andrew Berry did what no other general manager would dare. He struck first. He didn't wait. Tytus Howard is a weapon, capable of shifting from right tackle to left guard seamlessly in a single day. He can protect the quarterback directly on the field, and when a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders is back there, keeping him alive is priority number one. While the media laughed and analysts handed out D-plus grades, inside the locker room there was silence, the silence of respect. Players know that a general manager bold enough to make such a move is crazy enough to win, and champions always chase the crazy ones. But the most important part, this trade is not just about acquiring a player, it's the first brick in Andrew Berry's master plan. Those laughing at a D-plus grade didn't notice that Cleveland holds 2 first-round picks in the upcoming draft, 6th and 24th overall. At the Combine, Berry made it clear he intends to emulate the Chicago Bears model, rebuild an entire offensive line in a single season using trades, free agency, and the draft. Tytus Howard is the first piece. The next piece will come from the draft. Cleveland has already met with the top 10 offensive line prospects, including Clemson's Blake Miller, Georgia's Monroe Freeling, and Miami's Francis Mauigoa, signaling that another massive draft night move is imminent. When Howard's 2025 numbers speak volumes, 18 games played, 10 at right tackle, 5 at left guard, 3 at right guard, totaling 1,162 snaps with 0 sacks allowed, just 1 hit, and 25 hurries. According to Next Gen Stats, his pressure allowed rate was a mere 4.8%, the kind of number no D-plus graded player delivers. When Howard is protecting your quarterback, the opposing defense holds its breath. And when your QB is someone like Shedeur Sanders or a high-priced Deshaun Watson, protecting them is the first priority. And here's the kicker that the media missed entirely. Howard wanted this trade. He said, "I wasn't surprised. They want youth. They want to pay new players. I had no anger. I knew this was coming." Then he added something that will warm every Browns fan's heart. "I want to go to Cleveland to awaken the city, change the program, and win games." That's a hunger numbers can't show. A hunger felt only by players rejected elsewhere, driven to prove the world wrong. For those still thinking $63 million is too much, consider this. Howard has started 93 games for Houston, 93 games of strength, 93 games of versatility, and Cleveland got all of this for a fifth-round pick. If that isn't a steal, what is? And as Todd Monken said on the Combine, I'm here to deliver a heart-stopping team. A heart-stopping team is built in the trenches. When the line is strong, the run game works. When the run game works, play action thrives. When play action thrives, quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson can throw deep. When the deep ball connects, Myles Garrett and the defense get a break. It's a chain, and it all begins with a man like Tytus Howard. So let the media laugh. Let analysts hand out D-plus grades. But in Cleveland, something is shifting. Andrew Berry has harvested the fruit of his labor, and the rest of the league is still scrambling to catch up. $63 million gamble? Maybe. But bets like these are only placed by those who are certain they will win. And Andrew Berry is certain. Tytus Howard is certain. Todd Monken is certain. When the 2026 season kicks off, the entire NFL will be certain too. Before the deal even went through, the NFL offseason was already trembling with speculation, but nobody could anticipate the precision of Andrew Berry's strategy. On the surface, a $63 million contract for Tytus Howard seemed outrageous, even reckless, prompting analysts and fans to cry desperation and panic. D-plus grades were thrown around like confetti, and the internet had a field day mocking the Browns. But beneath the numbers, beneath the surface, there was a master plan at work. Berry didn't just acquire a player, he acquired a foundation, a key piece to secure the trenches and protect the team's most valuable asset, the quarterback. The genius of this deal lies not only in the amount or the headline, but in its structure. Tytus Howard's 3-year contract is front-loaded, with guarantees concentrated in the first 2 years and a third-year team option. This gives Cleveland flexibility to manage risk, reduce future liabilities, and prepare for the inevitable salary cap challenges ahead, including Deshaun Watson's massive $80 million cap hit. While critics saw extravagance, Berry saw opportunity, a chance to secure a versatile offensive lineman before the market exploded, effectively locking in value while others hesitated. Consider the situation Cleveland faced. Their offensive line was a patchwork of uncertainty. DeAndre Jones, the only reliable starter, was returning from a serious knee injury. Bitonio, Conklin, and Taylor were all leaving, creating a void that could have crippled the running game, the pass protection, and ultimately the team's season. Enter Tytus Howard, a player who could shift seamlessly from right tackle to left guard, plug any gap, and protect quarterbacks from Shedeur Sanders to Deshaun Watson. He is not just a lineman, he is a chess piece, designed to keep the offensive strategy flexible and the playbook alive. And then there's the mental aspect. The locker room reacted not with panic, but with respect. Players understood that a GM willing to make bold, unconventional moves is one willing to win at all costs. Media laughter and D-plus grades didn't matter. This is a philosophy that transcends stats. Champions follow the risk takers, the ones who see the board when others see chaos. From a strategic perspective, this trade was the first brick in a much larger vision. Berry holds 2 first-round draft picks, 6th and 24th overall, and has explicitly stated his intention to emulate a model used by the Chicago Bears, rebuild a complete offensive line in a single season through trade, draft, and free agency. Howard is the first cornerstone. The next pieces will come from top draft prospects. Already, meetings have been held with elite offensive line prospects from top programs, Clemson's Blake Miller, Georgia's Monroe Freeling, and Miami's Francis Mauigoa. These are not coincidences. They are signals that the Browns are planning for a comprehensive line overhaul, designed to secure both immediate performance and long-term success.
Stats reinforce the brilliance of the move. In 2025, Howard played 1,162 snaps across 18 games, including 10 at right tackle, 5 at left guard, and 3 at right guard. He allowed 0 sacks, suffered only 1 hit, and gave up 25 hurries. According to Next Gen Stats, his pressure allowed rate was only 4.8%, demonstrating elite consistency and adaptability. When a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders or a high-investment Deshaun Watson steps back, it's Howard who anchors the line and ensures their survival, effectively giving Cleveland the time and protection necessary to execute big plays. And the most overlooked part? Howard himself wanted this trade. He recognized the opportunity, the youth-first mentality, and the chance to contribute to a winning program. His words, "I want to go to Cleveland to awaken the city, change the program, and win games," reveal a mindset and hunger that numbers alone cannot capture. This is a player motivated not by money, but by purpose. Finally, in terms of value, consider this. 93 games started for Houston, 93 games of experience, 93 games of versatility, all acquired for a 5th-round pick. If that isn't a steal, what is? And for those still skeptical, Todd Monken's words at the Combine leave no doubt. "I'm here to deliver a heart-stopping team." A heart-stopping team begins in the trenches. Strong line, effective run game. Effective run game, successful play action. Successful play action, deep passes for Sanders and Watson. Deep passes connect, defense gets rest. The chain continues, and it all starts with a cornerstone like Tytus Howard.
Let the analysts continue to hand out D+ grades. Let the media laugh. In Cleveland, something monumental is unfolding. Andrew Berry has executed a calculated masterstroke, and the rest of the league is still scrambling to catch up. The $63 million gamble is just the beginning. Only those who are certain they will win place bets like this, and Berry, Howard, and Monken are all in. When the 2026 season begins, the NFL will finally see the full extent of their vision. As the dust settles from the initial shock of the Tytus Howard trade, the real story begins to unfold. And this is where the vision of Andrew Berry, Todd Monken, and the Cleveland Browns becomes truly apparent. This isn't just a move for one player. It's a carefully calculated foundation for a full offensive rebuild, a blueprint for sustained dominance in the trenches. While critics focused on $63 million and D+ grades, they failed to see that the Browns are sitting on 2 first-round picks, 6th and 24th overall, and a strategic plan to transform their offensive line entirely. Berry's approach mirrors what the Chicago Bears once executed. Rebuild an entire unit in one season through a combination of trades, free agency, and draft selections. Tytus Howard is the first cornerstone. The next pieces are waiting in the draft rooms, ready to be slotted into the plan. Cleveland's front office has already done the homework. Meetings with the top 10 offensive line prospects, including Clemson's Blake Miller, Georgia's Monroe Freeling, and Miami's Francis Mauigoa, indicate that the Browns are not just filling holes, they are assembling a versatile, elite unit capable of dominating the trenches. Howard's 2025 numbers back up the hype. 1,162 snaps, 0 sacks allowed, only 25 hurries, and a 4.8% pressure allowed rate. He played 10 games at right tackle, 5 at left guard, and 3 at right guard, showcasing unmatched adaptability. With a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, this kind of protection is priceless. It gives them time, space, and confidence to execute high-risk, high-reward plays downfield. But the story isn't just numbers. Howard himself wanted this trade. His mindset aligns perfectly with Cleveland's vision. "I want to go to Cleveland to awaken the city, change the program, and win games."
That hunger, the drive to prove the doubters wrong, is a quality numbers can't measure. Pair that with Todd Monken's offensive philosophy, which prioritizes trench dominance, run game control, and explosive play action, and you see the blueprint of a championship-caliber team being laid before the season even starts. The draft, free agency, and trades are all pieces of a single puzzle. By securing Howard now, Barry ensured that Cleveland controls the line of scrimmage, the foundation for every successful offensive play. The media may laugh, the analysts may continue handing out D-plus grades, but the locker room knows the truth. Champions are built on foresight, calculated risks, and the willingness to act while others hesitate.
This trade also reshapes the dynamics of the division. Houston gets financial relief, while Cleveland gains an immediate game-changer. Howard's versatility allows him to plug any hole, protect the quarterback, and stabilize a line that was in chaos. The ripple effects extend beyond 2026. With Howard as the anchor, the Browns can draft complementary pieces without panic, develop a young quarterback with confidence, and potentially dominate the division for years to come. And as the season approaches, the full magnitude of this move becomes clear. Every snap Howard plays, every block he executes, reinforces the wisdom behind Barry's aggressive strategy. The chain reaction is unstoppable. Strong offensive line, successful run game, effective play action, deep passing opportunities, rested defense, sustainable team success. Every link in the chain begins with Tytus Howard, a player who is far more than a $63 million contract. He is the linchpin of a new era for Cleveland football. So yes, the media laughs. Let the analysts write their hot takes. In Cleveland, a quiet revolution is underway. Andrew Barry, Tytus Howard, and Todd Monken are confident. They are prepared. And when the 2026 season kicks off, the entire NFL will finally see the full brilliance of this master plan, starting with a single, bold, transformative trade. With Tytus Howard now secured, the fourth part of Cleveland's plan begins to take shape, a vision that stretches far beyond the first snap of the 2026 season. This isn't a gamble limited to one player. It's a strategic blueprint for dominance across multiple seasons. The offensive line is no longer a weak link. It's a platform for championship-level football. The front office has positioned itself to maximize draft capital, leverage free agency, and maintain financial flexibility, ensuring that Howard's presence doesn't just solve today's problems, but lays the foundation for tomorrow's success. Cleveland holds two crucial first-round picks, a treasure trove of opportunities. Top prospects like Blake Miller, Monroe Freeling, and Francis Mauigua are already under the microscope, but this is just the beginning. The Browns can now draft impact linemen who complement Howard's versatility, secure depth in critical positions, and even make trades without risking structural integrity. Every move is calculated. It's chess, not checkers. Every dollar, every snap, every strategic decision reinforces the master plan Andrew Barry envisioned from day one. The ripple effects are also psychological. Shedeur Sanders, stepping into a well-protected pocket, gains confidence to take deep shots. Deshaun Watson, if deployed, benefits from stability he hasn't experienced in years. The offensive line becomes a bulwark for talent development, ensuring that young stars grow without being overexposed to pressure or injury. The Browns aren't just building a team, they're cultivating a culture of winning, a mindset where calculated risks are respected, bold moves are celebrated, and mediocrity is unacceptable. Meanwhile, the league watches with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Houston achieves financial relief, but loses a player who is versatile, durable, and experienced. Other teams scramble to understand Cleveland's model, how a $63 million investment could secure immediate impact while providing unmatched long-term flexibility.
Analysts may continue their hot takes, but the locker room knows the truth. A general manager willing to bet big, a coach willing to plan meticulously, and a player hungry to prove the world wrong are a formula no opposition can ignore. And here's the most critical insight. This is only the beginning. Every snap Howard plays, every adjustment in the trenches, every coordinated play action strengthens a chain that will dominate the field. Cleveland's rebuild is forward-looking, designed not only for 2026, but for the next 5 years, a rolling strategy that prioritizes sustainability, depth, and elite performance. The Browns have turned a single trade into a strategic revolution, setting themselves up to compete for divisional titles, playoff runs, and ultimately the chance to challenge for a Super Bowl. So let the media laugh. Let the analysts debate grades and contracts. Cleveland is quietly building a dynasty in the making, starting with Tytus Howard, Andrew Berry's master plan, and Todd Monken's offensive vision. And when the 2026 season kicks off, the NFL will finally witness the full scope of a team that dared to act boldly, think strategically, and build relentlessly. An organization ready not just to compete, but to dominate the future of football.